Came to the floor to talk about the election of November the 8th, the opportunities that we have working together going forward to turn the direction of the country around. Unfortunately, to find myself sitting here and listening to the latest tirade by the Democratic leader against the president-elect and his team. Surely he's entitled to his opinion, but he does nothing to contribute to the healing of our country after a very polarizing, hotly contested election by continuing to pile on the president-elect and his team. We had an election. The American people voted. The American people chose their next president. But to come here after the election, after the American people have spoken and made that choice, and continue to disparage their choice for the next president, as well as the leadership in the House and the Senate, really just smacks of, well, we used to call people like that sore losers. But frankly, what he does is also contribute to the coarsening of our discourse and debate here in the United States Senate. I had to check the standing rules of the Senate to see whether Rule 19, which governs the terms of debate, would cover the president or the president-elect. Because certainly, when the Senate rules say that no senator in debate shall directly or indirectly, by any form of words, impute to another senator or to other senators any conduct or motive unworthy or unbecoming of a senator, certainly the Democratic leader's comments, although not technically within the ambit of the rule, violate the spirit of the rule and the sort of debate and discussions that we ought to be having here in a civilized and civil and dignified sort of way. And I realize the Democratic leader will be leaving the Senate at the end of this year, and I hope that we can return to the sort of civil and dignified discourse and differences of opinion that we surely will have from time to time about matters of policy. This is a United States Senate, for heaven's sake. This is where those differences are supposed to be debated and litigated and discussed. And then we vote. But the sort of recriminations that the Democratic leader keeps coming back to just strike me as inappropriate and uncalled for. And rather than contribute to the sort of healing of our nation that Secretary Clinton, who, by the way, had more to complain about than the Democratic leader does in terms of the outcome, she ended up on the short end of the stick. Or the President of the United States, President Obama, the sort of comments they've made, the sort of gracious comments recognizing the importance of a peaceful transition of power from one presidency to another. That's the sort of tone that I wish we would hear more of here in the Senate and in the country generally, not to pour gasoline on the fire as the Democratic leader continues